I will try to keep this as objective as possible. A few days ago, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced that Russia is going to undertake special military operations in certain parts of Ukraine.
Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции.
He says that he is doing this in order to bring justice to people who have been on the receiving end of a genocide by Kiev.
Людей, которые на протяжении 8 лет подвергаются издевательствам, геноциду со стороны киевского режима.
Now, the Western world, and quite frankly, the world in general, does seem to have a different outlook on this. The President of the United States of America, for example, has stated that Vladimir Putin proceeded without any provocation and without any necessity, that he has chosen war and he will face consequences.
The Russian military has begun a brutal assault on the people of Ukraine without provocation, without justification, without necessity. Putin chose this war, and now he and his country will bear the consequences.
But here's the thing, here's my sort of hot take. Russia did not do anything wrong. Like, think about this. Countries have been invading each other for thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. It is in our nature. It is human nature to do it. Like, are you going to tell a lion to not attack a zebra or a gazelle? Didn't think so. First, you should convince the lion to not attack others and then come to me, okay? Now, some people, in quite a silly manner, might be tempted to argue that regardless of which side you agree with, whether you agree with Vladimir Putin or you agree with the West, it is obvious that people are going to die from it. But what these people don't realize is that this is the circle of life. Everyone who is born must one day die. It is nature. I know in your idealized sort of anti-war world, you don't want anyone to die. You want a perfect utopia where no one suffers. But this is the reality of life. This is the circle of life, you see. And for all you science freaks who are obsessed with the scientific method and all that stuff, you do know about evolution by natural selection, right? Charles Darwin described the phenomenon of evolution by natural selection as survival of the fittest. If Ukraine didn't want to be attacked, they should have developed better defenses. Like, there are certain things in our biology that makes it obvious that we should do certain things. We can do them, and therefore we should do them. Like, for example, we have canine teeth, right? And this means that we can and should eat the flesh of other animals. And in a similar manner, we have brains that developed to be able to produce bombs and assault rifles and that kind of stuff. So it's obvious that because we can, we should, and because we can use those bombs and weapons, we should also use them. Now, the fascinating thing, or the interesting thing, I suppose, about this sort of Russian invasion of Ukraine is that the pushback has been largely from Western powers, whether it be the American President Joe Biden saying that he will put sanctions on Russia.
Today, I'm authorizing additional strong sanctions and new limitations on what can be exported to Russia.
Or whether it be the UK President Boris Johnson saying that he will put sanctions on Russia.
Today, in concert with our allies, we will agree a massive package of economic sanctions designed in time to hobble the Russian economy.
One of these countries, the United States, is the face of present-day neo-imperialism and neo-colonialism, and the other country here, the United Kingdom, is the face of historical colonialism. Like, has there ever been a larger colonial empire than the British Empire? What right do these Western powers have to tell this non-Western country, Russia, about how they should organize themselves and how they should conduct themselves? For them to declare how Russia should and should not behave is quite literally colonialism. Also to be noted is that the per capita income of the United States of America is about $63,500 per annum. And the GDP per capita of the United Kingdom is about $40,200 per annum. Compare that to the GDP per capita of Russia, which is, compared to these other countries, a very measly amount of just $10,126 per annum. You see, what this proves, I think, is that not invading other countries is a privilege that only rich countries have. To tell lower income countries such as Russia that they should not invade other countries is an elitist privilege. Now, if you happen to disagree with me, and I don't know how you possibly could, then what you should not do is you should not try to engage in a logical conversation on the basis of facts. That is Western privilege. Instead, what you should do is you should check your privilege. You should check your Western privilege, you should check your elitist privilege, and so on. But if you're just hell bent on trying to argue logically, then that door is also closed to you, because I know you use these arguments in your debates with vegans. When the vegan tells you that you should not cause unnecessary suffering and exploitation of innocent individuals,
without provocation, without justification, without necessity.
these are the arguments you make, right? The difference is that I am just consistent about this and you are not.
Hey,
What's that?
so maybe be consistent about it and also don't exploit innocent animals.
Oh, shut up, vegan. Now, this video is going to be demonetized because I covered the sensitive issue of Russia invading Ukraine. So, if you would like to help me out in purchasing more animal products and helping Russia, or rather supporting Russia in invading Ukraine, you can support me via Patreon by clicking this link. If you enjoyed this video, do be sure to check out this video which YouTube thinks you will like the best. And I'll see you in the next one.